Hello there, I am the Gaming Fan. Welcome back to another episode of Freeloaders, the series where we try to find your next favorite game in the free-to-play market. On the chopping block today is SCP Containment Breach, baby. Woo! Although I do have a video on this game already, this is not going to be the same information. I mean, I'll mention some things from it, but it's going to be an entirely different video. Especially since I have more time played in the game now, and I have different opinions on it. I also mentioned it in my 3 scariest monsters I've seen in horror games, which I will also be referencing as well. So SCP Containment Breach, one of the best horror games I've ever played, one of the scariest horror games I've ever played, and also one of the most annoying I've ever played. How could it be all 3 of those in one? That is with one word. Randomness. The map is randomly generated every time you play the game, which in and of itself is fine. However, whenever you accidentally happen to get 5 SCPs in close proximity of you, there's pretty much no way of you getting past them without severe luck, which is my biggest complaint in the game, is simply that difficulty can spike if you happen to get unlucky enough for a set number of SCPs to be following you around. It's annoying. However, it took a lot of playtime for me to get past the fact that this game is terrifying. This game is, you have so many different SCPs that you are never safe, and you constantly feel something just around you at all times. Even when you are safe, you don't feel safe. I don't know. I can't really explain it. A lot of it has to do with sound design, but again, the variety of SCPs here is probably the game's biggest strength. And randomness is also one of the game's biggest strengths, but it's also one of its biggest weaknesses, as collecting items in this game that you need to have to progress is also sometimes a bit of a chore, and can also lead you to just get unlucky with the items that you find throughout the map. For example, I once found night vision goggles in the light containment zone. With the playthrough that you're seeing on the screen, I had to get caught by 106, happen to exit his pocket dimension, and then find the night vision goggles in the heavy containment zone. So that's just an example of how randomness can severely impact how easy or efficient your playthrough will be. And honestly, I'd say the difficulty is probably to the point where I'm not sure if it's a game worth beating. That sounds weird, but you kind of see everything a bit way too soon. What am I trying to say? The game stops being scary way before you even come close to beating the game, so therefore, is the game worth beating, is the question. Ultimately, that's up to you, but this is still one of the scariest games I've ever played, but keep that word in the past tense because it is no longer the scariest game I own. I don't know what that would be now, I just know it's not this game. Okay, with the gameplay and all the negatives pretty much actually we have one more. Sorry. The performance can be iffy, it can be. It seems to change with every update it gets, but the engine is so old it kind of has to always update just to not break itself. Or at least that's what it feels like. You'll notice things wrong with the engine, like 173 will fall through an elevator sometimes and instantly murder you. I learned that the hard way. If I can find it, I will show you. And I have seen a door vanish before. That's a problem. I've seen a door just kind of stop existing. But honestly, I'd say this update that's on right now, 0.11, is pretty consistent. I'd say it's pretty good, with just a few minor flaws here and there. And considering how old the engine is and that the engine is no longer supported, I would say that the game is in a pretty good place right now in terms of performance. And I do believe it can run on some older hardware, so if you're playing on a laptop, don't be scared to give this game a shot. You can always turn down anti-aliasing, particle amounts, resolution, all kinds of stuff like that. You have a lot of options for a bit of an older game. And for those of you who even care, I did finally run into 096. Unfortunately, that was kind of just a big annoying part of the game because I did feel pretty tense being around him. He is still one of the scariest things I've ever seen, but our moments had to be cut short by 106 and 049 just appearing out of nowhere and just getting on my nerves. And since I had to have the ring on, I couldn't run for 106, and then he caught me, and it's just back to the randomness, it's back to the difficulty, it's not too well balanced. Or at the very least, it's very random. But give SCP Containment Breach a shot. Now, I don't care how many negatives I can find about this game, you have got to play it for yourself, because the initial moments that you have playing this game, oh god. And I'm not gonna lie, even though I don't like 106, he has given me some of my biggest jump scares in this game. I guess he's not all bad, but after playing the game enough, I think he should just be removed. I don't know if you can do that with the console or not, But I honestly think 106 should just be taken out of the game. He does nothing but make the game irritating at some point. Like, yeah, at first he's scary, and he might even stay scary for a bit, but eventually he just kind of makes the game super tedious to even kind of try to play. So, if I can take him out with the console, I'm going to, because he's just annoying. I don't even want to freaking have to worry about him anymore. He's stupid. And I know the pocket dimension wouldn't exist without him, but again, I don't care. I don't want him in the game anymore. He is irritating. Plague Doctor is just kind of annoying, but he can stay in the game. Alright, SCP Containment Breach. One of the scariest games I've ever played. One of the best horror games I've ever experienced. You should definitely try it out. If you claim to be a horror game fan and you haven't played this game, your license has temporarily been revoked until you do play this game. So that's going to be it from me. Play SCP Containment Breach. Great game. And I will see you next time when we don't play a horror game.